The 1990 Minnesota Twins finished last in the division, posted the fewest wins in the majors over the final 4 months, and entered 1991 as the unanimous pick to finish last once again. But what if I told you that same group went on to win the World Series the very next year? Sounds impossible, right? Somehow, the Twins are able to overcome all the odds to win their second championship in 5 years. So how did they do it? How did a team with zero expectations win it all? After taking home the 1987 World Series championship, the Twins quickly descended to the depths of the major leagues. Just 2 years later, they dipped below 500, and the following season they sank even further with a last place finish in the division. Not only that, they were one of, if not the worst team in baseball, winning the least amount of games during the final 4 months of the season. It was a brutal stretch that saw their homegrown ace Frank Viola and many other iconic faces depart Minnesota. So as you would expect, the team was faced with many question marks ahead of the 1991 season, something general manager Andy MacPhail quickly got to work on. He was the architect behind their first championship and was eager to bring home another. He hoped to achieve this by acquiring veterans Steve Bedrosian, Jack Morris, Mike Pagliarulo, and Chili Davis. These additions helped plug many holes on the roster. Bedrosian added depth at the back end of the bullpen, Morris was a durable starter with ace upside, Pagliarulo filled the void left by Gary Gaetti at third, and Chili Davis gave the team added pop out of the DH position. It was a superb offseason, and with the addition of Chuck Knobloch, who secured the starting second base position after batting .388 in spring training, the team was ready ahead of opening day. But from the outside, people remained wary. In fact, most major newspapers predicted them to finish last in the division. It didn't help that to start the season, they played like a last place team.
Guys were thrown into a lot of stuff right at the start of the season with the team that finished last place and more or less a new team coming in.
A 2-9 start set off alarm bells as they already stood 5.5 games back of the division after less than 2 weeks of action. If they didn't act fast, the playoffs would continue to fall further and further out of reach. But at this time, the offense, which began the year on the back foot, started to find their way.
Kirby drills this to straightaway center field. Felix going back, and this is gone! A home run for Kirby Puckett.
After the slowest start among any team, the Twins began to string wins together, starting with a series win over the Oakland Athletics and highlighted by a 4-game sweep over the Seattle Mariners. But despite their better play, they still found themselves under 500 and 5th in the division through May. It wasn't until June before they put everything together.
Here comes Puckett home with the tying run. Now the ball gets away from Jackson. Milman's going to try to score, and he scores. Twins pull it out 4-3.
With the Twins playing winning baseball, the clubhouse vibes were at an all-time high. The Twins won 19 of their first 20 games in June to catapult them from 5th all the way to 1st. It seemed like they could do no wrong, especially Scott Erickson, a second-year starter who was quickly emerging as one of the best in the bigs.
So 7 strikeouts for Erickson, back-to-back shutouts, and he lived up to the billing.
Erickson's breakout helped solidify rotation with Jack Morris and Kevin Tapani, who were also playing at the top of their game, allowing closer Rick Aguilera to tie the franchise record in saves with 42. It was an amazing turnaround for the organization, one few believed was coming, but that didn't matter. The only people that needed to believe were the ones on the diamond, and together they outworked everyone else from March to October, culminating in a division championship.
2-2. And a little tapper in front of the mound. And the Minnesota Twins have gone from last to a tie for the American League West.
At 95-67, the Twins didn't just win their division comfortably. It was the second best figure in the majors. With this in mind, you would expect them to be heavy favorites entering the ALCS. But surprisingly, many favored the Toronto Blue Jays, especially one of their own players, Devon White, who thought it was going to be a cakewalk, stating, "I don't know if it's going to go the distance, to tell you the truth. I think we'll take it before that. Maybe 5 games. Roberto Alomar added, "What they don't have that we have is speed. That's how we're going to beat them." Yeah, that's how little respect the Twins received. I guess that's what happens when your success comes out of nowhere. No one really takes you seriously.
You're up to date now, and it's almost time for the first pitch. It's Game 1 of the American League Championship Series, the Blue Jays and the Twins. Here we go, folks. The battles of October are about to begin.
But first, a quick word for today's sponsor, Kalshi. Baseball season may be over, but there's plenty of action elsewhere. Is Matthew Stafford destined to win his first MVP award? Is LeBron going to win another trophy? Or maybe Lamar Jackson gets his first? Well, Kalshi has markets for that. That's right, Kalshi is the first and largest federally regulated prediction market in the US. Here's how it works. Each contract pays out $1, which means if you buy at 50 cents and it hits, that's 50 cents profit. Buy at 10 cents and you can see a 9 times return. Kalshi is also approved by the CFTC, making it legal in all 50 states. And the best part, Kalshi doesn't just stop at sports. You can trade on who you think will be the next president, how high Bitcoin will be by the end of the year, or even the highest temperature on any given day. With Kalshi, the scenarios are endless, and right now when using code GREENLIGHT, you get $10 free when you sign up and trade your first 100. That's code GREENLIGHT for $10 free when you sign up and trade your first 100. On the mound for the Twins was Morris. With his World Series experience, they knew he would be able to put them in a position to win.
Ball hit out to center field. Kirby Puckett over there, and he makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jack Morris. The Blue Jays don't score, and the Twins coming back.
The Jays' offense struggled early, while the Twins' lineup was locked in from the first pitch.
Off the fifth and a base hit to left field. 2 runs will score, and the Twins lead it 2-0 on Chili Davis's base hit. And a base hit to center field by Gagne, and it's 3-0 Minnesota. Bullpen. 2-1 pitch and a line drive to right. Carter, who is playing it, and it goes over his head. Scoring easily is Davis, and in at second base is Shane Mack.
The Twins scored in the first, second, and third to jump out to a 5-0 lead. But the Jays fought back, getting on the board in the fourth and looked poised to close the gap even further in the sixth.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. And a line drive left field. He fought that fastball up in his eyes, has the base hit.
A fluke base hit and a rare example of the Twins losing a ball in their own ballpark.
On the outside corner and a line drive, base hit. White will round third and be held there by Hacker. That will load the bases with 1 out for John Olerud.
After 3 straight singles, the Jays loaded the bases, allowing John Olerud and Kelly Gruber to bring them within 1.
Line to right field, it's a base hit. It's now 5-2. Twins have out hit the Jays 10-7. And a line drive over Leas's head into left field. They're going to wave both runners in. Alomar's in. Here's the play at the plate. Safe. And it's a 5-4 ball game.
Morris had pitched excellently through 5, but in the 6th, he lost his touch, allowing the Jays to close the gap to within 1. And with men on first and second and only 1 out, they were looking for more. For this reason, manager Tom Kelly went to his bullpen.
New pitcher for the Minnesota Twins is Carl Willis in relief of Jack Morris.
For much of his career, Carl Willis was a project, bouncing around team after team. It wasn't until landing in Minnesota at 30 years old before he put his name on the map, but he knew all would be forgotten if he didn't come through in this moment. His first challenge was Candy Maldonado, a veteran with sneaky pop, and on the second pitch of their encounter, it looked like he got it all.
Fly ball to left field, Gladden is back, and makes the catch at the base of the wall, and Olerud, who is halfway, goes back to second base.
After retiring his first batter, Willis was just one more away from preserving their slim lead, with Rance Molinikis at the plate, a seasoned veteran who always put up a tough battle. And with a runner on second, he was looking to cash in the game-tying run with a hard-hit grounder.
Grounds it right at Leyes. He gets the force at third to retire the side. 8 men come up and now trail by only a run, 5-4.
Unfortunately for the Jays, the hard-hit ground ball was hit directly to Scott Leyes at third for the easy out, and with it, their last chance to get back in the game.
He's had a ball hit out to left. Gladden coming in. He's got it, and the game is over. The Twins win it 5-4.
The Twins' Game 1 victory didn't just inch them closer to the World Series, it gave them immense confidence that their hard work and gritty style of play would be enough to do serious damage in the postseason. And over the course of the series, they proved exactly that.
Bags will go into play third. Line drive deep to right field. Going back is Ducey. It's gone. A home run for Mike Pagliarulo. And the Twins lead it 3-2.
In Game 3, they fought back from a 2-run first-inning deficit with a game-winning home run by Pagliarulo in the 10th. And the following night, they kept the offense rolling.
Fly ball hit deep to center field. Devon White is looking up, and this one is gone for a home run by Kirby Puckett. You knew sooner or later Kirby was going to hit one deep.
The 50,000 Blue Jays supporters flocked out of the Sky Dome in shock as their beloved Bluebirds were ripped apart by a 9-run Twins performance, putting the Western Division champions just 1 win away from advancing to the World Series. But the Jays weren't going to go down without a fight, coming out firing on all cylinders in Game 5.
They're going to wave home Manny Lee. He'll score, and there goes the runner to second, and this could be an extra base hit, and it'll be a double. Knobloch will go to first for the out, but a run scores. Alomar crosses the plate, and the Blue Jays lead 3-2.
The Jays' offense, which had been dormant throughout the series, erupted for 5 runs by the 4th inning. At this point, Game 6 looked likely, but with plenty of time left, the Twins embarked on a comeback.
Like a broken bat looper into right field. Forces off, and there's a ball hit to center field. White will have to play it on a hop, rounding third and being held there.
With 2 singles to start the inning, the Twins had the tying run at the plate, but after a pop-up by Greg Gagne, their hopes were fading. To make matters worse, Gladden sent a sharp ground ball to third.
That's Gruber. He's going to go home with it, and the tag is not in time. Mack beat the tag, and the Twins get a run.
Shane Mack was out at the plate, but thanks to a timely error, the Twins chipped away at their deficit before Knobloch erased it completely.
Line drive down the right field line. 1 run will score, could be extra bases, and Maldonado has problems in the right field corner. They're going to wave home Gladden. The throw comes into the infield, and the Twins have tied the game at 5-5.
The rookie Chuck Knobloch came through in one of the biggest spots of the season, and just a couple innings later, their 2 veteran leaders gave them their first lead of the night.
And they're going to wave the runner home. Here comes the throw. It's high and scoring. Second base. Line drive, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Mookie Wilson to retrieve, but the Minnesota Twins are almost to the World Series.
This is what made the Twins so special, because they didn't just get production from their star offensive weapons. It came from everywhere. Veterans, rookies, guys they picked up midway through the season. It's what fueled them to a division title, and with their Game 5 comeback, the American League pennant.
Fly ball to left field. Dan Gladden is going back on the track. He makes the catch. And the Minnesota Twins have gone from the cellar to the penthouse in the American League.
In spring training, many analysts predicted them to finish 7th in the division, yet here they were, the last team standing in the American League. But in order to be crowned champions, they were faced with one last test, the Atlanta Braves.
And to the first baseman, Hunter. And that's it for Atlanta. You talk about a Cinderella story.
David Justice, Ron Gant, and Terry Pendleton formed a trio that could give any pitching staff headaches. But But it was actually the Braves pitching which caused the most problems. The four of Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Charlie Leibrandt, and Steve Avery formed the best rotation in baseball, allowing the Braves to overcome a mediocre 39-40 start, to win the National League West, and overcome a 3-2 deficit against the Pittsburgh Pirates for the pennant. The Braves were a force to be reckoned with, but no one really knew who had the edge. You see, this Atlanta group experienced a similar transformation of finishing the 1990 season among the worst teams in baseball, to now one of the best.
And if you think the Twins enjoyed a reversal of fortune, how about these Braves? Last year they were the doormats of the National League. Now nobody dares tread on them.
Since the Twins were able to wrap up the championship series early, they were able to line up Morris to start Game 1. He had been the anchor of their rotation all season, and quickly got off to a dominant start.
Too big a lead for Gamp, but he's going, and the ball hit back to the pitcher. And the Braves had not scored in 2 innings.
With Morris excelling through the first few frames, it gave ample time for his offense to grab the first lead.
They've got a play at the plate. 1-0 Minnesota.
He was thrown out at second, but regardless, Knobloch continued his scorching hot October with an RBI single. And with Morris continuing to deal, they were able to distance themselves even further.
Pretty well hit. This ball is going to go. Did he hit it good enough? He certainly did.
Gagney's blast put the Twins up 4-0, allowing them to shake off the Braves' late attempts at a comeback.
And the Twins have won the first game 5-2. And the Braves will try to come back tomorrow night.
It was the perfect victory from the Twins' perspective. The bats hit, Morris shoved, and the defense was sturdy, giving them the leg up for the title.
But look at the starters that the Minnesota Twins have to face from here on out. Tommy Glavine, Steve Avery, and then John Smoltz. So Tommy Glavine tonight, and that's a tough assignment for the Twins.
It certainly is.
With Glavine taking the hill in Game 2, many favored the Braves. But what they might not have known was the Twins' success against Southpaws. It was one of their biggest strengths, and that was on full display in the first inning.
Billy Davis launches one. 2-0, Minnesota.
Many believed Davis's blast was foreshadowing an early exit by Glavine, but he settled down, carving through the Twins lineup inning after inning, allowing his offense to level the score at 2 after 7.
Into right field, and it probably will tie the game. Olsen tags. The throw by Mack, and it's a tie game, 2-2.
Following the first inning, Glavine had faced just one batter over the minimum. He was in a groove, giving up very little wiggle room to his opponents.
That's 11 in a row by Glavine.
It would take something extraordinary to get to him, but surprisingly, it came from the most unexpected of places.
And the batter is Scott Liss. And he corks one into left field. Back at the track is Hunter, and it's gone!
Scott Liss, his first home run in postseason. He'll remember it forever.
Scott Liss had less than 200 regular season at-bats, yet came through with one of the biggest hits of the season off one of the greatest starters in MLB history. And with it, the Twins rode their narrow lead to a 2-0 series advantage.
Aguilera struck out the side. The Twins have gone up 2-0 over Atlanta.
For the second straight night, an unlikely hero delivered the win for the Twins. By now, everyone was already gearing up for their eventual series victory. After all, very few teams have clawed their way back after dropping the first 2. But if they hope to keep the momentum rolling, they'd have to do it the hard way in Game 3, from behind.
Hit it good!
Through a mix of homers and poor defense, the Braves took a commanding 4-1 lead after 5. With Avery at peak stride, things were looking bleak, but as the game matured, he began to leave a few pitches over the heart of the plate.
Hit by Puckett, and that one's carrying a long way, and Mitchell can't do anything about that one, and that makes it 4-2.
Puckett's blast cut their deficit to 2. Still plenty of work to be done, but after an error start at the top of the 8th, they brought the tying run to the plate in Chili Davis. During the regular season, he not only led the team in home runs, but also set a career high at 29. He was seeing the ball perfectly all season, and in this moment, he added to his impressive campaign.
Into left field, Mitchell back. How far is this going? We are tied. We are tied on a pinch home run by Chili Davis.
Game after game, the Twins were receiving clutch hits from 1 through 9 in their lineup. But after Davis tied the score, the game remained that way through the next couple innings and into extras, where the Twins had the golden opportunity to go ahead not once but twice. In the 10th, Gladden was stranded at second following a Paul Sorrento strikeout, and in the 12th, he was left at third with only 1 out in the inning. On the game's biggest stage, mistakes like these are costly, allowing the Braves the opportunity to get back in the series.
Here comes Justice! Save! And Atlanta wins it!
And the Braves win their first World Series game ever.
The Twins had every chance to come out victorious, but failed to deliver the go-ahead hit. Now the series was back on, especially after another Braves walk-off.
The runner tags at third. Here's the throw from Mack. Here's Lemke. He is out. And Atlanta wins. They were tied 2 games apiece.
In a matter of a few days, the Twins' 2-0 lead was evaporated, and the following night, things continued to go from bad to worse.
Justice hits it into left field. It carries well. And it is good. Layers it in. Lonnie hits it high. Hits it deep. There she goes. Singleton scored. Look at that one go. There she goes. 14-4.
The Twins weren't just beat in Game 5, they were toyed with, as the Braves' offense erupted for 14 runs. But it wasn't anything they hadn't experienced before.
This looks like deja vu all over again. Back in 1987, the Minnesota Twins won the first 2 World Series games at the Metrodome, lost 3 on the road at St. Louis, and then became the only team in World Series history to come back and win the final 2 at home. And can Minnesota win tonight and force a Game 7?
In 1987, the Twins lost 3 in St. Louis, but won all 4 at home. Now, if they had any chance of winning their second championship, they would have to repeat that same home field magic.
That's fair. He's going to score. Puckett for third.
Trick your mind.
There's a hit. 2-0, Minnesota.
Kirby and Mack got the scoring started in the first, but the Braves fired back, threatening to tie the game with a deep fly ball in the third.
He corks it to left center and chased by Puckett. He caught
to rob Ron Gant of an extra base hit.
Kirby knocked in the first run of the game, and just a couple innings later, he kept the Braves off the board with a leaping catch at the wall. But his efforts only delayed their inevitable comeback.
Puckett chases it to the track. It might go. We're tied. Hamilton's second home run of the series ties it in the 5th.
Unlike Gant's fly ball, Pendleton's cleared the wall to tie the score. And while Kirby would get his team back in front an inning later, the Braves continued to fight back.
The deep short. Tying run scores.
With the Braves matching the Twins' offense blow for blow, the game stayed deadlocked through 9. Thinking back to Game 3, the first extra innings battle ended in misery for the Twins. But this time, their smooth defense kept them in it.
And a line drive double play. Unassisted. Gagnon once this year. Runner going. And
That's the first caught stealing of the series for Harper, and it was a big one.
With their life on the line, the Twins' defense played at the top of their game, once again giving their bats the opportunity to force Game 7.
into deep left center from Mitchell, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
It was a complete performance by Kirby, knocking in 3 of their 4 runs and taking at least 1 away in the field, allowing the series to mature to the 7th and final game.
Folks, we've been wrong. We kept saying this series can't get any better, and it got better and better and better. And now here we are with this game to mark the end of a glorious baseball season.
On the mound for the 2 sides were Jack Morris and John Smoltz, 2 future Hall of Famers, both at the peak of their game. So as expected, both pitchers started the duel.
Down in order go the Braves.
Inning after inning, they went toe-to-toe with each other.
To John. No runners in the first.
But while Smoltz fizzled out in the 8th, Morris just kept on going.
And the play is to home. Out there. Out there.
9 shutout innings for Morris, but due to the Braves' elite pitching, the game remained scoreless through regulation. At this point, most would have assumed the Twins would dip into their bullpen. However, he remained in the game.
Shortstop Leas. Atlanta hasn't scored in 10 innings against Jack Morris.
On the game's biggest stage, he delivered one of the most impressive performances in baseball history. But it would all be for nothing if the Twins' offense remained neutralized. That was until Gladden stepped up to the plate, ready to ambush the first pitch.
Broken bat, fly ball's gonna drop. He's trying. Save!
Gladden's double ignited cheers throughout the Metrodome, knowing their team was just 1 hit away from World Series glory. And the very next batter inched them even closer.
Now block bunts, Pendleton goes to first. Lemke took the throw. There's the winner at third base, 1 out.
Knobloch's bunt put the series clinching run just 90 feet away, but with Kirby and Herbeck up next, the Braves opted to intentionally walk both batters, resting the moment in the hands of Gene Larkin.
The Twins are gonna win the World Series! The Twins have won it! It's a base hit! It's a 1-0 10-inning victory!
And once again, the Minnesota Twins are baseball's world champions for the 2nd time in 5 years. It's the world champion Minnesota Twins, and the crowd loves it.
First of all, I'd like to have all the players to tip our hats to the fans. We got the greatest fans in the world. Thank you!
Thank you for watching to the end of the video. Make sure to subscribe for more baseball content just like this. I think I have like 3 more videos coming out the rest of the year, so you don't want to miss that. And also, it would just help me out a bunch, so thank you. Also, if you'd like to keep watching, how about my video on the 1987 Minnesota Twins, a team often regarded as the weakest to ever win the World Series.